take the state requirement. Now, I will say, your boy Nate Ivey, I'm a good test taker. Taking tests have never been a source of anxiety for me. I'm just have an intuitiveness about me and can pick up things contextually. So even when I would struggle with a particular answer, contextually, I could sort of like rule out what I knew were the bad answers were absolutely not the answers. And sometimes, I could find my way to the right answer. So test taking has never been an issue for me. So perhaps I'm a bit biased. But life is hard. Life is real hard. College can be difficult. When you go to college, you may have to take numerous tests. If you decide you want to go to graduate school, you're going to have to take a test. If you decide you want to go to law school, you're going to have to take a test. If you decide that you want to go to medical school, guess what? You're going to have to take a test. Do you believe that these tests are culturally biased? Is that the issue? They're biased against black people or, people that come from certain neighborhoods? If so, that's one issue that we can deal with. But by and large, I'll be honest with you, I sympathize on some levels for this young woman. But life is hard. And if you cannot pass the high school test, how are you going to pass the test when you get to college? There are no sympathies in college. College professors don't call and remind you. They don't call your mom and remind you. You got to make sure you show up to class. They don't do any of that. You're just a number, literally, to them. Because they're seeing, in most cases, so many students. When you get to college, it's on you. And already my daughter's 10. We've been preparing her since, I don't know how long we've been talking about this. Old enough for her to know, since she's been going to school, that one day you're going to be on your own. You're going to be in a college environment, hopefully. Mommy and daddy will not be there. I won't be there to wake you up in the morning. I won't be there when you get home from school to remind you to do your homework. Hey, did you do that homework? What about that book report? I mean, all the things I do now, I won't be there. I'll be doing my own thing, okay? It's on you. So a part of me feels like these tests are set up for a reason, to test the weak points of the students. Because being a good student, right, is different from being a good test taker. Again, there's a lot of people who are very intelligent, they're very smart, but when it comes to a test, they lock up, okay? And that's part of what the test is testing. So I know there's been a lot of conversation, a lot in the black community about perhaps changes to this test-taking requirement. I want to talk about it this morning. Do you know anyone, family members, friends, who've been ensnared by these evil tests? I'm being sarcastic. Do you know anyone who's had any issues with these particular high school graduation tests? Perhaps you got a high schooler right now, okay, your son or daughter, maybe a niece or nephew, and maybe you can give us some thoughts on it firsthand. I like to see the test. I mean, that would give me it would give me some insight. But my thing is, isn't this the same test that all of the other students are taking? They're passing it. I would like to see the numbers. I like to see a breakdown on which students are really having some issues. And again, I went to the young girl's, this young woman's Facebook page, and she's posting about it, and she's making comments about, she's got a son, and if she had help, then maybe it wouldn't be so difficult. And I mean, having a child is a rough thing, especially when you're broke and you don't have any money and you're young. It's very difficult. And this is part of the reason why we try to dissuade young folks, right, into delaying having children until either they're married or they're in a better place, until they can get through high school, get through college, for these reasons right here. So I don't want to call it a wound, but it just seems like there's some problems that people kind of bring on themselves. I ain't being nasty. I'm just keeping it real with you. If I don't deliver straight talk with you, who will? Okay? My name is Nathan Ivey. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Back with more right after this.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad o'clock, and it's the best time of the day. because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the
Good morning, welcome back. Tracy writes, the state test should be graded on a scale. This pass or fail score is unfair. I feel you, Tracy. I've heard that many times before. Good morning, welcome back. Currently 7:24 a.m. in the Queen City. However, it seems like a lot of the students are passing it. So what's the difference between the students who are passing the state requirement test and the students who are not passing it? I'd like to know what that difference is. Shauna writes, Michael Moore's new movie, Where to Invade Next, touches base on the debate about standardized testing. It's a really good movie. Check it out. You know what? I've almost pressed the button, okay, to purchase it and rent it and view it at home via cable many times. But since you said that, Shauna, I'll try to check it out this weekend. Mr. Hollywood writes, Zimmerman came to my mind also. Absolutely. Wendy writes, good morning. Kashana writes, happy Friday. Angela writes, good morning. Crystal writes, Gilligan of the week, George Zimmerman, hands down. Nothing else this week matters. But the disrespect he has shown the Martin family, hashtag Gilligan of the year. Tracy writes, I think you also need a Psycho Sickle Award of the week too. Shaking my damn head. Good morning, Rhonda. Good to see you. Mr. Hollywood writes, Zimmerman gets the Lifetime Nut Award, LOL. Robin writes, good morning. Miss D writes, good morning. Woody writes, good morning, my brother. Good to see you, Woody. Tracy writes, that test is a self-esteem killer for those who could not pass it. Okay, well, that means then, Tracy, it's a self-esteem builder for those who do pass it. I mean, if somebody can prove to me, can show me that the test is culturally biased, okay, great. In general, do I believe that standardized tests have some bias in them? Yes, I do. However, there are tens of thousands of kids that pass it in Ohio every single year. What's different about the few that do not? Are they not really trying hard enough? From what I'm reading, you get 7 chances. And 7's a lucky number. You get 7 chances to pass the test. I'm not sure where the young woman that we've been discussing this morning is. And again, I wish her the best with that test. I mean, it's sad. It's sad that you can't even graduate. You can't even walk. I mean, that's a big moment. Graduation. I remember my graduation. I was so damn happy to be done with high school. I was so happy. I was sick of high school. I was sick of school. And then I took the summer off and went straight back into school and went to college. But college is fun. College is much different. I went for the women and got an education along the way. I'll be honest with you. It's the truth. I went for the women and got an education along the way. This is deep. So here's what I want to know. Does anyone have any personal experiences you like to share? I mean, do you believe that they should bend the rules and allow the children, the students, to at least walk? I mean, but to do that now would be so unfair to all of the students over the last few years who have not been able to walk, wouldn't it? I know, like, if I had a high school student, a son or daughter, who 3 or 4 years ago did not meet the requirement and they were not able to walk, and then I hear that now or next year or sometimes in the future they're going to change the requirement, I'm going to be upset. That's unfair. Because graduation is a beautiful thing, isn't it? It is a beautiful thing. It's a family. It takes a family to graduate a child. It really does. It's not just a child. It's mom and dad. Sometimes it's grandparents and aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews. I mean, it's a family affair, at least in these days and times. There's so many distractions. So many distractions. Is that maybe the incentive, though? Maybe the incentive is to make sure you get in there and maybe you're before and after school with a tutor if science or reading or whatever is your weakest topic. Okay, your weakest subject, should I say. You tell me. Woody writes, don't you start taking a test in the 8th grade? I'm not sure. I do know that she first took it, I believe, in the 10th grade, this young woman from Columbus. Again, you get 7 times to take it, and then pretty much that's it. That's a lot. 7 times for the same test, man. I mean, 7 times for the same test. Crystal writes, I have sympathy for her, but what about all the other people in her same position? Why should she get a free pass? ? That's what I'm asking, Crystal. Why should she get a free pass? Because she's got a son? Because it's a sad story because she's got a 3.75 GPA? How do you have a 3.75 GPA, but you can't pass this test? Something's just not making sense to me. Is she not studying hard enough? I mean, I'm going to put it out there. I mean, she's got a young son, so clearly she hasn't spent all her time on the books. Let's be real here. Maybe we should pass her along because she's got a son. Give her old Dexter Manley. She means well. Let's pass her along. Is that fair? And again, what's the difference between her and what other people are doing? That's what I don't understand. What's the difference? Please share that with me. I just don't get it. So I have sympathy. I definitely have sympathy because basically she's been robbed from a moment. But who robbed her? The state didn't rob her. Are we going to blame the father of the child because maybe he's not in the baby's life and she's got to shoulder the burden? Is that fair? Maybe. But this is deep. Tell me what you think, folks. I mean, tell me what you honestly think. So many things to discuss this morning. I don't know what we should do about George Zimmerman. I really don't. I mean, this dude, I think it's going to end colossally bad for him. I really do. I think it's going to be one of those situations where you'll be at home one day and there's going to be something under the crawler and it's going to say that somebody went after George Zimmerman. Matter of fact, somebody already did. It was a white dude. Went after George Zimmerman. Apparently they had some kind of neighborhood dispute and pulled a gun on George Zimmerman, basically. And that's why the dude is in hiding right now. Again, you talk about sympathy. I got no sympathy for Mr. George Zimmerman. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I'm going to post a link. I want you to check this out because I've been telling people for years that law enforcement, they share an eerie similarity to a hometown boxer by the name of Adrian Broner. The can man. Anybody can get it. And, a lot of folks believe that only black people are abused by law enforcement. And that's just not true. I'm telling you, that's not true. For some time when I was doing an early morning show at 5 a.m., I started doing a segment called Police Watch. And essentially it was very, very simple. At that time, there were all these stories that was coming across my computer screen. Examples of law enforcement really going too far. Assaulting unarmed citizens, beating, maiming, and in some cases killing them. Like I came across a case of a young boy who had Down syndrome. And he loved to go to the movies. And his mother, I think he was like early 20s, still living with his mother because he maybe has some disabilities. And against his mother's better judgment, she allowed him to go see this movie that he really wanted to go see. So the movie ends, and apparently he wanted to watch the movie again. Maybe he got there late. If you get there late to a movie with the incredible cost of the movie, you should be allowed to stay and watch up to that point for the next movie, okay? You ain't hurt nobody, okay? I do it all the time, whether that's the rules or not. But anyway, The attendants, the movie theater attendants, has such an issue with trying to get this man out that they called the sheriff.